Welcome, pilots to the virtual skies. I hope you had a chance to watch my 15-minute video about importing SIM data information directly into the new A32 NX mod. And I thought I would just have a quick little flight today to put that into practice. So how about a Delta flight at DFW? Leave the destination alone. We'll do that through the McDo. It's pretty early in the morning, not terribly early. I'm gonna have some sunrise soon. I'm gonna leave the live traffic on because I kind of like to see what imaginative names other users have come up with. But that's our flight. I didn't do much to this flight sim brief. I put in our airline, our flight number, our departure from DFW, arrival in Houston. Our alternate was assigned to us back to DFW. It's a very simple route. Dart 7 to Torn intersection and then to Gusher 3. So we have one departure and one arrival and only one waypoint. And I assume Gusher 3 starts at the Torn intersection. There it is on the map. It looks pretty simple. And we'll see if Flight Simulator can handle it. I don't plan on doing a lot of narrating on this flight. I just want to enjoy the eye candy and enjoy the ambiance, and I'm along for the ride just like you folks. So here we are in Dallas. We're going to have a snowstorm a-brewing, winter storm down in Texas. Might as well make it interesting, right? Well, we got absolutely the last gate down next to the blast fence, the blast barrier. You had big-headed Daddy out there.
let's start setting up.
Okay.
Let's ask for some weather. We'll get a METAR, which is the most important data. That's actually real live weather. You can also get a TAF, which is a terminal aerodrome forecast. It's forecasted weather. It's not as valuable as live weather. And we'll get an ATIS. That's our arrival. Oops. Want it to come to the McDo, not the printer. You know, most airliners actually do have a small printer in the flight deck. We'll perform the weight and balance, and all this information is coming directly off of the sim brief, so we don't need to worry about the accuracy of it. There it goes, 3877. It's not very far to Houston. We'll take a look at what we have on board. We've got 20,000 pounds of fuel on board. We certainly don't need all that. So I'm going to push the refuel load button, and it's going to either pump in or pump out the unnecessary or necessary fuel to bring us right to our sim brief spec. There we go. Now, that fuel is in, I believe that's in kilograms, and that's in pounds, and that's why the difference. And if you're questioning that, let's just go to the options menu, AOC, FMGC, and you can see it's in pounds, but if we switch it over to kilos and go back, oh, interesting. Oh, here we go, block fuel. I'm looking at trip fuel. I should be looking at block fuel. Notice the block fuel figure is right where it needs to be. Okay, had me going there for just a little bit. So I'm going to go to the second page and verify our passenger count, our center of gravity, our zero fuel weight, and our load. And then this button is harder to quantify. It's harder to double check. But once I push payload, our performance data should be based on these numbers right from our sim brief planning. There it goes. Okay. Actually, I got an error message on the V-speeds because we don't have a runway yet. Let's talk to ATIS and see if we can get a runway. Or not talk to ATIS, talk to the ground controller.
Airport information uniform 1200 Zulu. Wind 036 at 20. Visibility, niter. Sky condition, clear. Temperature, -6. Dew point, 13. Altimeter 29.50. ILS runway 17 center, ILS runway 17 left, ILS runway 17 right, ILS runway 18 left, and ILS runway 18 right in use. Landing and departing runway 17 center, runway 17 left, runway 17 right, runway 18 left, and runway 18 right. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact, you have uniform.
Curious that they don't have my flight plan. Curious that they don't have my flight plan. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Initialize request. That's why they don't have my flight plan. Now, AOC active flight plan uplink. So they will now have my flight plan. Flight number, destination, arrival, cruise altitude, cost index. Okay, I'm happy. There's my zero fuel weight and my center of gravity. Go to fuel planning. I'm going to confirm my block fuel and my taxi fuel, my trip fuel, my reserves, my alternate back to Dallas, my final fuel, and then how much fuel I should have. Destination estimated fuel on board is below the minimum. Well, that can't ever be good. I wonder why SimBrief let that happen. Okay, well, I'm not going to worry about it too much, but what I will do is see if that will allow me. There we go. I can file a flight plan now, or I have a flight plan.
DFW clearance delivery Delta Delta Alpha Lima 43 ready to copy IFR clearance to Houston.
Delta Delta Alpha Lima 43 is cleared to Houston Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 18 left climb and maintain 9,000 feet. Departure frequency is 125.125 squawk 2145.
Delta Delta Alpha Lima 43 cleared to Houston Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 18 left climb and maintain 9,000 feet. Departure on 125.125 squawk 2145.
Delta Delta Alpha Lima 43 readback is correct. Contact ground on 121.8 when ready to taxi.
So we have an arrival runway, or a departure runway. 18 left. Oh, not 18 right, 18 left. Not letting me enter that. And we're on the Dart 7 departure. Well, here it starts 8. And we're on the Torn transition. And we have the Gusher arrival. We don't know our runway yet.
Hi, the security and safety check are all done. Are we good to start boarding?
Yes, you can start boarding.
Okay.
Here's the Gusher 3 arrival. No via. And insert. Okay. We're going to have some passengers coming aboard here pretty quick. That's good news. So we got something strange going on here near takeoff. One 8 left. We need to get rid of Charlie, Victor, Echo, and Champs. We need to get rid of Charlie, Victor, Echo, and Champs. Okay. That gives us a nice, clean routing. Wonderful.
Before start checklist.
Cockpit prep.
Completed.
Completed. Gear pins and covers.
Removed.
Signs.
On and auto.
Adheres.
Nav.
Fuel quantity.
Set.
Takeoff data.
Set.
Baro ref.
2950. Set.
2950. Set. Down to the line.
I assume the outside checks went well. I'm sure if there was a problem, you would have mentioned it. It's amazing how much workload is relieved when you don't have that, don't have so much to do in the McDo. Flight deck to ground.
Go ahead, flight deck.
We will be ready shortly.
Okay, I will hold.
Confirm all ground checks complete and we are cleared to pressurize the hydraulics.
All ground checks are complete and you are cleared to pressurize the hydraulics.
Hi guys, here's the load sheet for you.
Thanks.
No problem. Have a safe flight.
Now that we have the load sheet, we can lock the cabin door.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board today. As you locate your assigned seats, please place your smaller items under the seat in front of you to provide more room for larger items in our overhead compartments. If you need assistance, contact a flight attendant. If you are unable to accommodate any item in the cabin, please bring it to the boarding door and we will check it for you. Also review the safety instruction card in your seat pocket. If you are seated at an exit seat, also review the exit seating criteria.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck. This is the captain speaking. On behalf of the entire flight crew and myself, I'd like to welcome you aboard today's flight. Our flight attendants are there for your comfort, but more importantly for your safety, so please give them a few minutes of your undivided attention while they go over the safety features of this aircraft. Once the boarding process is complete, we'll get the cabin door closed and push off the gate for an on-time departure. In the meantime, please sit back, relax, enjoy the ride. Welcome aboard.
I can't really do this because if I do, I will enter the Microsoft system for pushback, and I don't like that. So I'm going to simulate getting a pushback and engine start clearance. Dallas ground, Delta 4 tree requests pushback and engine start. Dallas 4 tree, Delta 4 tree, pushback and engine start approved. Dallas 4 tree, Denver, Delta 4 tree. Boy, I really don't like simulating that. I wish there was a way of doing it. If I go in and ask for a pushback, then I go through their system, and I don't want to use their system, so that's what I have to do. And notice the next contact is when I'm ready to taxi. Doesn't even take into consideration the pushback.
Hey guys, are we cleared to close?
Yes.
Thanks. Let me know if you need anything.
Cabin crew, arm slides and cross-check.
Flight deck to ground. We are cleared to start engines, and we are ready for pushback and engine start. Flight deck to ground. We are ready for pushback and engine start. Flight deck to ground. We are ready for pushback.
Go ahead, flight deck.
We are ready for pushback and engine start.
Roger. Release the parking brakes, please.
Parking brake released.
Pushing back.
Below the line.
Windows and doors.
Closed.
Closed. Beacon.
On.
Thrust levers.
Idle.
Parking brake.
Off.
Before start, checklist complete.
DFW Airport Information Whiskey 1300 Zulu. Wind 034 at 25.
Starting engine 2.
Niner. Sky condition clear.
Starting engine 1.
Temperature minus niner. Dew point 1 tree. Altimeter 29.53. ILS runway 17 center, ILS runway 17 left, ILS runway 17 right, ILS
Once again,
runway
ladies and
18
gentlemen,
left,
welcome on
ILS
board our
runway
flight
18
today.
right in
This is
use.
the lead flight attendant
Landing and
speaking.
departing runway
Please direct your
17
attention
center,
to the
runway
cabin
17
crew
left,
for
runway
important
17
safety
right, runway
information.
18 left,
There is an
runway
instruction
18
card
right.
in your seat pocket that
DFR
illustrates
aircraft,
the
say
safety
direction of
equipment
flight.
on this aircraft.
Aircraft, read back hold, short instructions.
Regulations require compliance with this information as well as all crew instructions, lighted information signs, and
DFW
posted
airport
placards.
information X-ray
Fasten your
1300
seatbelt by inserting the metal tip into the buckle. Tighten by pulling on the belt. To release your seatbelt, lift the metal flap on the buckle. It is our policy that you keep your seatbelt fastened at all times while seated. Doors are clearly marked with exit signs and instructions for door operation. Each door is equipped with an escape slide. Locate the exit nearest you and nearest
Pushback
exit
complete.
may be
Set
behind
parking
you.
brakes, please.
In an emergency, lights will illuminate the
Parking
aisle.
brake set.
The cabin is
Roger,
pressurized.
okay, the
There
tow
is
bar
enough
is disconnected
cabin
and the
pressure
equipment is
to
clear.
open
We
an
will
aisle
see you on the left side with a pin.
Remain seated with your seatbelt fastened and pull a mask towards
Thanks,
you.
and you can disconnect and go to hand signals.
Oxygen will be flowing to the mask.
Thanks, have a good flight. See you later.
Cover your nose and mouth with the mask. Place the elastic band around your head
DFW
and
ground
tighten
Delta
by
Delta
pulling on
Alpha
the
Lima
end.
4-3.
Secure your own
ready to
mask
taxi
before
IFR.
assisting others. Your seat bottom cushion may be used as a flotation device. Pull up and remove the cushion. Upon exiting the aircraft, place your arms around the cushion and hold on to the straps located on the back. This is a non-smoking flight. Smoking is not permitted in the cabin or lavatories. Cabin lights will now be turned off. Reading light buttons are
Taxi
located
to
above
hold
your
short
seat.
runway
Thank you for your
18 left
attention.
via taxiway Hotel Yankee Yankee Hotel. Whiskey Foxtrot Delta Delta Alpha Lima 4-3.
After start checklist.
Anti-ice.
Set.
ECAM status.
Checked.
Pitch trim.
26% set.
Rudder trim.
0.
After start checklist complete.
Flight control check.
Full down. Full up. Neutral. Full right. Full left. Neutral.
Rudder.
Full right. Full left. Neutral.
Now we'll watch as she goes through her side. The camera is going to this what they call showcase view on its own. Whenever it thinks that I want a nice shot outside, it just automatically throws me outside, and it's rather frustrating. If there's one thing I wish is someone would come up with a good camera system for this program, because it's quite frustrating.
Clear left side.
Clear right side.
Brake check.
Pressure 0.
Has anyone seen a taxiway around here? Oh, see, I'm in that showcase view again. that was a very easy taxi to 18 left, wasn't it? You don't get a taxi that easy very often.
Before takeoff checklist.
Flight controls.
Checked.
Checked. Flight instruments.
Checked.
Checked. Briefing.
Confirm.
Flap setting.
Config 1 plus F.
Config 1 plus F. V1. VR. V2. Flex temp.
V1 1 3 2 VR 1 3 5 V2 1 4 0
V1 1 3 2 VR 1 3 5 V2 1 4 0 ATC.
set.
ECAM memo.
Takeoff. No blue.
Down to the line.
Okay, quick briefing of the Dart 7 departure. We are at runway 18. Or Dart's 8 departure here in this case. Torn transition for the George Bush Intercontinental. For aircraft overlying torn intersection, appropriate RNAV star. Okay. Here we are at runway 18. We'll be departing to the south. 18 left to let's take a look at what we have. Booser, Laren, Lizzie. There's Laren. Laren above 5,000 feet. Then Lizzie. Then Kalik. And then Darts. So south and a left-hand turn to 144 to Darts, and that's the end of the procedure. If we lose an engine prior to V1, we will apply full braking and exit the runway. If we lose an engine beyond V1, we will continue and land straight ahead. If we can make pattern altitude, we will attempt a landing back on runway 18 left. So we'll make a left pattern for 18 left. Briefing complete.
DFW Tower Delta Delta Alpha Lima 4 tree at runway 18 left ready for takeoff IFR to Houston.
Delta Delta Alpha Lima 4 tree cleared for takeoff runway 18 left.
Below the line.
Cabin crew, be seated for takeoff. Takeoff runway.
Confirmed.
Confirmed. Cabin crew.
Advised.
Engine mode selector.
Normal.
Pax.
On.
Before takeoff checklist complete.
Okay, we still have a couple of blue items. We need to get the cabin crew informed.
Delta Delta Alpha Lima 4 tree, did you hear my last transmission?
Cleared for takeoff runway 18 left Delta Delta Alpha Lima 4 tree.
And we did a takeoff config as normal.
Ready.
Ready.
Takeoff. Manflex SRS runway auto thrust blue.
Check. Thrust set.
Flap 0.
Speed check. Flap 0.
After takeoff, climb checklist.
Landing gear.
Up.
Flaps.
Retracted.
Packs.
On.
Down to the line.
Below the line.
Barrel rest.
Standard set.
Standard set. After takeoff checklist complete.
AP1.
Check.
Going to 125.125 Delta Delta Alpha Lima 43.
And to ice. Ice detected. That is never good. Well, that didn't happen. That didn't take long, did it? Right off the runway, and we're already in icing conditions. Oh, look at the ice. We've got some accumulation. Old school 1964. How about that? Again, I didn't bring us outside. The showcase view did that automatically, and I'm really frustrated with it. Oh, is it? There's a setting called Smart Camera. Is that what it is? That does that? Smart Cam. Smart Cam is off. Ooh, look at the ice. That's lovely. I gotta find a way for it not to go automatically into showcase view.
Regional departure Delta, Delta Alpha Lima, 439,000 feet. Delta Delta Alpha Lima 43 regional departure. Continue to TORNN as planned. Altimeter 29.50. Delta Delta Alpha Lima 43 climb and maintain 15,000 feet. Climb and maintain 15,000 feet Delta Delta Alpha Lima 43. Delta Delta Alpha Lima 43 contact FT1 center on 134.15. Going to 134.15 Delta Delta Alpha Lima 43.
Okay, we're above 10,000 feet. We can... Oh, I actually never turned on the takeoff lights, the landing lights. Wow, what a morning. Here's the time where I want to be outside. Again, I'm in showcase mode. I don't like that showcase mode. Trying to get the tail fin to cover that sun in our view here. I don't know if it's possible. It takes more finesse than I think certainly more patience than I have. Okay. Approaching transition altitude.
Set standard.
Standard cross-check. Passing flight level 190. Now.
Check. Hi, could you bring us up a couple of crew meals, please?
Okay, I'll bring them up in a minute. Hi guys, here are the crew meals you asked for. Enjoy!
Thank you. Hi, could you bring us some water, please?
Okay, I'll bring the drinks up in a minute.
Southwest 51, contact FD for its center on 133.3.
Hi guys, here are the drinks.
Thank you. Just to let you know, could you bring us some water, please? Early.
Thanks for letting me know. I'll bring the drinks up in a minute.
Just to let you know, we're going to be arriving a bit early.
Thanks for letting me know. Hi guys, here are the drinks.
Thank you.
FT Worth Center, Delta Delta Alpha Lima, 4-tree flight level, 230.
Delta Delta Alpha Lima 4-tree FT Worth Center, continue to TORNN as planned. Delta Delta Alpha Lima 4-tree climb and maintain flight level 270.
Climb and maintain flight level 270 Delta Delta Alpha Lima 4-tree.
Okay, time to think about our arrival. Coming into KIAH. We're doing the Gusher arrival. So here's Gusher. Between 9,000 and 12,000 at M-Port. Above 12,000 at... Okay, where are we coming in from? Oh. There's M-Port. There's Stacks. There's Deplane. Okay.
Southwest 485, contact Houston Center on 120.4.
We're going Deplane to Stacks to M-Port to Gusher. So at Deplane we are at Stacks we are at 12,000 feet, 280 knots. At M-Port we're between 9,000 and 12,000 at 250 knots. And Gusher we're down to 6,000 feet at 210 knots. So we have been briefed. Keep that off to the side.
You have control.
I have control.
Delta Delta Alpha Lima 4-tree, contact Houston Center on 120.4. Southwest 6801, contact FT Worth Center on 135.25.
Going to 120.4 Delta Delta Alpha Lima 4-tree.
135.25 for Southwest 6801.
know our runway yet, but we're a plan right now for 15 right. I know it's important to enter this destination data. I'm just at a loss right now of how to do it. Oh, approach phase. Activate approach phase. Here we go. Okay.
Houston Center, United 748 is out at flight level 29 or 5 for 10,000 feet. United 748, Houston Center, continue as planned.
Ooh, I know I needed that in there.
Houston Center, Delta Delta Alpha Lima, 4-tree flight level 270.
Delta Delta Alpha Lima 4-tree, Houston Center, continue as planned. Delta Delta Alpha Lima 4-tree, descend and maintain 15,000 feet.
Descend and maintain 15,000 feet. Delta Delta Alpha Lima 4-tree.
I'm going to slow us down as well.
I have control.
You have control.
Approach checklist.
Briefing.
Confirmed.
ECAM status.
Checked.
Barrel ref.
2992. Set.
2992. Set. Minimum.
Set.
Set. Engine mode selector.
Normal.
Approach checklist complete.
Southwest 485, you are 85 miles northwest. Descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Expect vectors ILS runway, tree 1 left approach. Delta Delta Alpha Lima 4-tree, you are 70 miles northwest. Descend and maintain 5,000 feet. Keep speed below 210 knots. Expect ILS runway, 26 right approach via Hoodie transition. Clear to Hoodie.
26 right by Hootie.
Descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Expect vectors ILS runway, tree 1 left approach, southwest 485. Delta Delta Alpha Lima 4-tree, descend and maintain 5,000 feet. Keep speed below 210 knots.
Descend and maintain 5,000 feet. Keep speed below 210 knots. Expect ILS runway 26 right approach via Hoodie transition. Cleared to Hoodie Delta Delta Alpha Lima 4-tree.
26 right Hootie.
Spirit winds 12902, you are 74 miles northwest. Descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Expect ILS runway 26 right approach via Zappo transition. Clear to Zappo.
By a Hootie. 26 right by a Hootie. Okay.
Descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Expect ILS runway
26 right. Okay. Okay, I don't see... There's Zappo, Newly, Raids, Chubbs. Okay, I don't see Hootie, but I'm gonna say that... Let's come down here. Stacks, Import, Hootie, Grizzly. Hootie, Grizzly, Zappo, Newly.
Descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Expect vectors visual.
So Hootie, Grizzly. Oh, okay, here's Hootie. Hootie is this right here. So we go by the Dezetta VOR. There's Hootie, and then Grizzly, and then Newly. So it's 267 and a frequency of 111.55. Thankfully, we're in an Airbus and don't have to worry about that. If we were in a Boeing, we would be scrambling about now.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again from the flight deck, this is the captain speaking. We're going to begin our initial descent here momentarily. At this time, I'm going to turn the seatbelt sign back on, so please return to your seats and keep your seatbelts securely fastened until the aircraft has come to a stop at the gate and the seatbelt sign has been turned off. It's been our pleasure having you on board for today's flight, and we hope to see you back on a future flight again real soon. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for arrival.
Cabin crew, prepare for arrival.
Hootie is 57 miles away. We're approaching transition altitude.
Southwest 485 contact.
2992 set.
2992 set. Passing 17,100.
Going to 119.17
Now.
Check.
Southwest 485.
.133 is our minimum full flap speed. 200 knots on the approach is our decision height. So another thing I don't like is that what's called the free look camera.
Delta Delta Alpha Lima 43, please expedite your descent to 5,000 feet.
Oh, why are we not descending? We need to get pretty aggressive on this descent. Oops. Suddenly, we just stopped descending. We're right at or just slightly above the 250 knot speed limit for being under 10,000 feet. So I want to shallow our descent just a little bit. Oh, I'm sorry, there 250 is up. Oh, we're safe. We're safe. Yeah, 250 is up here. We're at about 240. I can even make this a little more aggressive.
Spirit winds 129 or 2, contact Houston approach on 124.35.
Coming up on 10,000 feet, let's go into Christmas tree mode.
124.35, Spirit wings 129 or 2.
Turn on every light in the house. Good time to have our anti-ice on.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be arriving at our destination shortly. If you are making a connection to another flight, please see the customer service agent meeting this flight or video monitors inside the terminal for connecting gate information. For your continued safety, flight attendants will now walk through the cabin to secure it for landing. We'll be collecting all service items, newspapers, and any other items you wish to discard or may not be taking off the aircraft with you. Also, in preparation for landing, please turn off all electronic devices, stow these devices, and all other carry-on items. Please use caution when opening overhead bins as items may have shifted during our flight.
United 748, contact
Please
Houston
stow your
approach
tray
on
tables and return your seats to their upright position and check the security of your seatbelts. We will be landing shortly. Thank you.
United 748. Delta Delta Alpha Lima 43, contact Houston Center on 133 Decibel.
133 decimal 8 for Delta Delta Alpha Lima 43. Houston Center Delta Delta Alpha Lima 43 is out of 7,200 feet for 5,000 feet.
Delta Delta Alpha Lima 4-3 Houston Center, continue to Hoodie as planned. Altimeter 29.47.
Houston Center Delta Delta Alpha Lima 4-3 requesting vector to next waypoint.
Didn't mean to hit that button.
Delta Delta Alpha Lima 4-3 continue to Hoodie turning and following heading 085.
Continue to Hoodie turning and following heading 085 Delta Delta Alpha Lima 4-3.
Delta 1271, you are 47 miles northeast. Descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Keep speed below 210 knots. Expect ILS runway and left approach by a GUSHR transition. Clear to GUSHR. Descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Keep speed below 210 knots. Expect ILS runway 8 left approach via GUSHR transition. Clear to GUSHR Delta 1271.
I'm going to bring us down to 190. Of course, you know, in real life, controllers often want you to keep your speed up as long as you can, mostly for traffic, but we're in a simulator, and I like to have a little bit extra time. My landings lately haven't been the best. Nine miles to Hootie, and then Grizzle, and then Zappo, making this shallow right-hand turn, basically on a long downwind. $5,000 at, oops, $5,000 at Zappo, $5,000 at Newly, $4,000 at Raids. And you can see the purple, the cyan color. That is hopefully when I have in constraints mode, it will help me monitor that.
Delta Alpha Lima 4 tree. Cancel IFR at this time.
Air Shuttle 6047, contact Houston Center on 120.4. Delta Alpha Lima 4 tree IFR flight plan is canceled. Radar service terminated. Squawk 1200. Maintain VFR. Frequency change approved.
I don't believe I did that. I must have accidentally,
Houston approach Delta Alpha Lima 4 tree, 8 miles northwest of Tango 78. Request IFR to Houston, ready to copy.
Delta Alpha Lima 4 tree is cleared to Houston Airport as filed. Squawk 2145.
I accidentally canceled our clearance.
Delta Alpha Lima 4 tree cleared to Houston Airport as filed.
I just got our clearance back.
145.
How embarrassing. I don't know what I did to...
Delta Alpha Lima 4 tree read back correct. Radar contact 5,000 feet. Altimeter to niter decimal 47, turn right heading 245 climb and maintain...
I am not going to climb to 11,000 feet and make this approach again. I'm sorry.
Turn right heading 245 climb and maintain 11,000 feet. Delta Alpha Lima 4 tree.
I really will cancel IFR this time.
Delta Alpha Lima 4 tree, you are 3 miles east. Keep speed below 210 knots. Expect ILS runway 8 left approach, 5G USHR transition. Cleared to GUSHR.
Yeah. Sorry. That's not going to happen.
Keep speed below 210 knots. Expect ILS runway 8 left approach via GUSHR transition. Cleared to gush. Delta Alpha Lima 4 tree.
Delta Alpha Lima 4 tree, contact Houston Center on...
Well, my minimum descent altitude is 2,000 feet. You can tell it by the symbol of the Maltese cross. When you see that Maltese cross, that's the minimum descent altitude.
Going to 133.8 Delta Alpha Lima 4 tree. Houston Center Delta Alpha Lima 4 tree is at 5,000 feet, climbing 11,000 feet.
I'm not climbing to 11,000 feet.
Delta Alpha Lima 4 tree, Houston Center, continue to GUSHR as planned.
I'm not going to Gusher either. Now I really will cancel IFR.
Houston Center Delta Alpha Lima 4 tree would like to cancel IFR.
Delta Alpha Lima 4 tree IFR flight plan is canceled. Radar service terminated. Squawk 1200. Maintain VFR. Frequency change approved.
Houston Center United 1520 is out of flight level 185 for 10,000 feet.
United 1520, Houston Center, continue as planned.
Delta Alpha Lima 4 tree is tagged Airbus A20N 6 miles east of 21 Tango Echo. Request flight following.
Delta Alpha Lima 4 tree, Houston approach. Squawk 4516.
Squawk 4516 Delta Alpha Lima 4 tree.
Delta Alpha Lima 4 tree, radar contact 4 miles east of 21 Tango Echo, 3,200 feet. Altimeter 29.47.
Copy Delta Alpha Lima 4 tree.
Checked.
Houston Tower Delta Delta Alpha Lima 43 is 24 miles east with Yankee to land.
Delta Delta Alpha Lima 43 Houston Tower. Enter left downwind runway 8 left. Altimeter 29er decimal 47 wind 29er 2 at tree 9er. Delta Delta Alpha Lima 43, please acknowledge.
Fly left downwind runway 8 left Delta Delta Alpha Lima 43.
So my next waypoint is Chubbs. Chubbs, I should be at 3,000 feet. I'm at 2,000 feet, so I'm a little low. I'm dragging it in. You might say. I got a little flustered with the cancellation of my IFR flight plan, and between Newly and Raids, I went from 5,000 down to 2,000, which is my minimum descent altitude, without stepping through 4,000 and 3,000 for Raids and Chubbs. Thankfully, Texas is flat as a pancake. You couldn't do that in Washington State. Wow, good thing I've got the anti-ice on. Looks like some good accumulation. When I get to Chubbs, I'll go to flaps 1. The great thing about the Airbus is that as long as you're initially in the speed range of your first flap setting, the auto throttle will slow you and prepare you for the next flap setting, as long as you give it a little time. Okay, we passed Chubbs.
Flaps 1.
Speed checked. Flaps 1.
I'm pretty much right on the localizer. I've locked with the localizer. I can't engage both autopilots. Unlike the Boeing, where you have to have both autopilots engaged to go into auto land. You only need one with the Airbus, although I know you can get 2 of them on, and I've had it happen to me a couple times, but it's okay to have an auto land with only the one. We're now approaching glide slope intercept. 1 mile from Owell, I'll go to flaps 2.
Flaps 2.
Speed checked. Flaps 2.
I just barely can see the real lights, runway end identifier
Gear
lights.
down.
We'll need to have more than that
Gear down.
at decision height to land.
Flaps 3.
Speed checked. Flaps 3.
Auto brake on. Speed brake armed. Ah. My speed brake won't arm. There it goes.
Flaps full.
Speed checked.
Flaps full.
Cabin crew, be seated for landing.
Checked.
Wind is 268 at 3-4. It's a very strong wind, but it's right on my nose. We have auto land.
Minimum.
Continue. Look at that crab. The wind is now coming from our left, and we've got quite a crab in.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20.
There's the flare.
Retard.
Are we on the ground? Auto brake off. APU on. Oh, we're out in the hinterland. Spoilers off. Cabin check. No blue. Let's see if we can find the terminal around here somewhere. Wow, quite a bit of snow. You didn't know Houston got this much snow, huh?
Landing checklist.
Cabin crew,
Advised.
auto thrust,
Speed.
auto brake,
Low.
ECAM memo.
Landing. No blue.
Landing checklist complete.
Continue.
70 knots.
Houston ground, United 1009er.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the conclusion of our flight.
United
Please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened until the captain has turned off the seatbelt sign and the aircraft is parked safely at the gate. This will be your indication it is safe to move about the cabin, gather your belongings, and disembark.
Houston ground, United
We'd like to thank you for flying with us
Yankee
today.
ready
We
to taxi
appreciate your
IFR.
business and hope to see you again on a
United
future flight.
1009er, taxi to and hold short of runway 8 right via taxiway November 1 November Bravo November Juliet November Alpha November Echo. Contact tower on 135.15 when ready. Air Shuttle 6065, hold position, caution, other traffic. Air Shuttle 6065, continue taxi. Taxiing hold short runway 8 right using taxiway November 1 November Bravo November Juliet November Alpha November Echo United 1009er. Roger, Air Shuttle 6065.
Well, maybe not the prettiest parking job in the world, but we got it here.
Houston ground, Delta Delta Alpha Lima, 4-tree taxi to the gate.
Delta Delta Alpha Lima 4-tree taxi to gate 87 via taxiway November Foxtrot November Charlie November Delta.
Taxiing to gate 87 via taxiway November Foxtrot November Charlie November Delta 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 Alpha Lima 4-tree.
After landing checklist.
Flaps.
Retracted.
Spoilers.
Disarmed.
APU.
Start.
Radar.
Off.
Predictive wind shear system.
Off.
After landing checklist complete.
Taxi light off. Parking checklist.
APU bleed.
On.
Engines.
Off.
Seatbelts.
Off.
Exterior lights.
Set.
Fuel pumps.
Off.
Parking brake and chocks.
On and in.
Parking checklist complete.
Securing the aircraft checklist.
Adheres.
Off.
Oxygen.
Off.
APU bleed.
Off.
Emergency exit light.
Off.
Signs.
Off.
APU and battery.
Off.
Securing the aircraft checklist complete.
And we are done, folks. Have a great day.